We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show, episode 246. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff, and to my right is the still current, reigning, defending, undisputed Scholars of Wrestling champion, Scholar Tarek.
I feel like after this great WrestleMania, after this great WrestleMania weekend, I think it's more right that you should introduce me as the current, reigning, defending, undisputed Scholars of Wrestling Heavyweight Champion!
Baby, yeah.
Now we can actually say the current WWE champion once held the Scholars of Wrestling Championship.
This is factually true. But yes.
That realization just makes you feel good inside.
I was wondering when you were going to bring that up. But yes, it is true. WrestleMania 35 has come and gone. And we had quite the varying experience with me watching it with a viewing party back at home. And you, sir, were actually there at the event live.
Oh, great experience live. I met great people. Some who are now fans of our show.
Hey.
Great people some from Ireland, some from let's see. The other people sitting next to me were from Southern Jersey, I believe. Just all different people all over the world. I had so much fun. It's now official. Every time they bring WrestleMania to MetLife, I'm gonna try my best to go.
Well, hey, we're already planning to. All of us are ready to storm Madison Square Garden for when they come back in our neck of the woods in September, right?
Absolutely.
There we go. We already have that happening.
When do the tickets go on sale for that one?
That I'm still paying attention to. I don't know for sure.
Okay.
But one thing I do know for sure is that we're going to be tackling the entire WrestleMania 35 card. We're going to be talking about our experiences, what we thought, what it was like watching with a viewing party at home, what it was like seeing it all live, what the difference was, and what really just hit home the entire night. So what do you say we just dive right in, starting with the Cruiserweight Championship match. Tony Nese defeated Buddy Murphy to become the new champion.
Between the three of us, I was the only one that called this one.
Yes.
I hope
did not bode well for the rest of us for the rest of the night in terms of predictions.
At least for the kickoff show. But when it comes to Brian, at least, I think he got the worst of it.
Yeah, he definitely got hosed. Sorry, Scholar Brian.
I'm not. It's still, that's what happens when you try and poison your co-hosts.
Yeah, who does that kind of thing?
Honestly, now that the fact that Brian has missed the prediction show and the review show, I think you were trying to take both of us out. I think I came to that conclusion.
Ref can't see it, ref can't call it.
Anyway. Why do you think I brought my own clear liquid to make sure I know it's my clear liquid?
You're catching on, fool.
Oh, I caught on the second Brian tried to take you out for Fastlane. Or, not try, he succeeded in taking you out for Fastlane.
So, speaking of taking out, this was the first match of the night, wasn't it?
It was the first
Tony
match of the
Nese
night.
versus Buddy Murphy.
It was actually a very entertaining match. I didn't expect anything less from the Cruiserweights. Great spots. I couldn't really see in person. I had to rely on the screens because one of the pillars was blocking half of the ring.
Oh, it's one of those.
Hey, at least I got to see them come out. It's actually funny the fact that they actually come out at the halfway point. Most of these competitors, and like the stars of the show, came out at the top of the ramp.
Yeah, because the ramp was so long, wasn't it?
Of course it was. It's a WrestleMania ramp.
Huh.
But
interesting.
when it came to the match itself, these two guys definitely flowed very well with each other, and I think because of the Superstar Shakeup next week, we're going to see Buddy Murphy showing up on either Raw or SmackDown. There's nothing more he can do for 205 Live. Now we have Tony Nese, who is now the face of 205 Live, and I think he is more than willing to be that.
Yeah, I actually had to miss part of this match because I didn't realize the pre-show was starting as early as it was.
Mm-hmm.
But I just sort of tuned in randomly, and I caught this match as it was happening. But just given the way that they were playing up Tony Nese, I really had this moment of, you know what, shame on me for not paying more attention to 205 Live, because not only was, like what you said, not only did this match deliver, but just the way they were playing up Tony Nese and his character, that, you know what, if I had been watching 205 Live, I really should have seen this coming. And I really should have changed my prediction of Tony Nese. But either way, kudos on you, Tony Nese. Bang up job by all involved. New champion, woo.
So here's a Scholar's Quick Talk for you. Which show would you want to see Buddy Murphy be on, Raw or SmackDown?
The married man in me wants to just see him go on whatever show Alexa Bliss is on.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I really don't care enough. I can't think of any notable feuds one way or the other right now, so that's just... You want my first knee-jerk gut instinct reaction? That's my knee-jerk gut instinct reaction. Put him back together with his wife. Pretty much.
Lucky son of a gun.
Hey, that's the way the cookie crumbles. What can I say?
It's even better watching her live.
I bet it is, you pervert. But anyway, speaking of perverts, Carmella won the Women's Battle Royal. Didn't we love that?
I know
How much
you did.
You love this?
I know you did. I was actually okay with the idea of Sarah Logan getting a big surprise win, and hopefully...
I think a lot of people were, actually.
And this could be leading to something. Maybe she'll break off from the Riot Squad, but no. They had Carmella hide under the ring and just win it, and I don't think this is going to do jack shit for her. She's not going to make an impact. She's never made an impact on me. And even with her claim that this is the new beginning of her career on SmackDown Live before she did actually they didn't do a dance break on SmackDown. They did a really long, annoying dance break later on in the show, which no one there wanted. As soon as Alexa Bliss here's the number, over 82,000. Here's a break. We don't want it. Just get on with the damn match, please. You only have one more. We're tired. We want to watch this match so we can get the hell out of here.
I'm sure they intended it to just be like a bathroom break segment. Even I get it. Even people in my viewing party at that point were getting tired. But again, I'll go into more detail about that later.
They didn't have that. Trust me, that was not the bathroom break. What happened beforehand, or before the match beforehand, that was the bathroom break.
Oh, well, we'll get to that.
And that's a shame that I was going to say this is the bathroom break.
I'm sure with a show this long, they had to have multiple bathroom breaks, but
they had at least two.
Yeah.
At least that's how I looked at it. People go bailing to the bathroom. I only noticed it twice on this show.
It'll be interesting to see where those pop up. But
I'll let you know when they pop up.
I bet. So yeah, I didn't really care. As far as this match goes, the Women's Battle Royal, I really didn't care too much for this match. It was more of a mild curiosity.
Oh, you stopped caring when the person you predicted didn't show up in the damn match.
No, that was just a mild bit of disappointment, but I was like, oh boy. But I knew she was going to show up eventually. She had to.
Oh, that's her thing. She just shows up and leaves.
For now.
And then she decks you.
And then she punches you in the face.
Like a lady.
Like a lady. But yes, in terms of my biggest, I'll be honest though, my genuine source of joy in this match in particular was just seeing Carmella win so I could get some joy out of trolling you from half a state away.
For only that one bit.
Yeah, it was still enjoyable to me.
And then I get my revenge later.
I'm not entirely sure what you mean at the moment.
You know exactly what I mean.
No, I honestly don't.
Oh, I'll let you know when I...
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Okay. All right, well, moving on, here's why one thing I thought would have a much bigger impact Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins defeat the Revival to become the new Raw Tag Team Champions. This was just great. And again, it was just nice to see. I like Zack Ryder. I want to see him do well. And he was just having a bang-up weekend for himself, gang engaged, and now winning the tag titles of WrestleMania. Good on you, Zachy boy.
I think when I was talking with you guys about this, I think Brian said it best. I was more cheering for Kurt Hawkins to end that losing streak of his. I don't know. I don't remember what number. Did they say on the commentary what the number was?
I'm sure they said what it was. I just missed it.
But I was just I don't know how it showed on TV, but the crowd really were into this match. And these two teams actually did work well together. And just to see Kurt Hawkins get that hot tag and leading to that pin, we all were losing our minds. The second Kurt Hawkins made, we were happy that it was Kurt Hawkins who made the pin.
Yeah, that part I didn't expect. I thought that they were going to retain some sort of mystique around Kurt Hawkins and his losing streak somehow by just having Zack Ryder do all the heavy lifting and get the pinfall, but at the same time, I'm glad it happened the way that it did.
This was his WrestleMania moment,
yeah.
And it was well deserved. I was expecting them to lose the tag titles the next night, similar to how Zack Ryder lost the IC belt.
And I'm glad that they didn't.
Yeah, I guess I'm glad that they didn't either. But I hope they do something with it, because it was just B team light. Then
at least they've got some. They're getting some exposure in the limelight, both of them. Because honestly, in terms of Zack Ryder alone, I still like the guy, and this gives him some exposure, and he gets a chance to work with some really great tag teams with his longtime friend. To me, it's one of those feel-good kinds of stories that I can't help but like and want to follow. Absolutely. Now, for what I believe is the last match on the pre-show, we've got the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and Braun Strowman wins.
I wouldn't even call this a match. This was just an angle with the two guys from SNL. They pulled a Carmella. They did this in both Battle Royals, which I'm surprised they actually kind of did. Have two guys now hide under the ring while the match was happening. Quite an interesting point to have Luke Harper have his return.
Oh. Yeah,
I remember him.
Wait a minute. Luke Harper's back. Yay.
Yeah,
is he going to do something?
It was the same thing with Ember Moon in the Women's Battle Royal. Something I forgot to mention while we were talking about it. This was Ember Moon's return, too.
Which, honestly, I didn't even notice that was supposed to be a return.
They didn't emphasize on it, really, on either Luke Harper or Ember Moon. They're just there.
Which, as far as I'm concerned, is just a damn tragedy, if you ask me.
I do like the spot that they had Luke Harper and Braun Strowman stare down each other.
Yeah, that's when they really oh, hey, he's back. What's going to happen now?
That's when it really... And then...
Wyatt family shenanigans? What?
And nope.
Nope.
All the people just dogpiled both guys to the crowd booing that because they went absolutely nuts for Luke Harper and Braun Strowman's stare down, which hopefully we'll get again in the near future.
They've got to. We remember this stuff. Everyone does.
And I am very glad that you changed your mind on choosing Bray Wyatt.
I am too.
And now we have
get horribly stomped like I would before.
You would have been in Brian level bad.
Oh, ouch.
He's not here. He can't defend himself. Speaking of Bray Wyatt, what did you think about that buzzard head in the box?
I didn't know what the hell that was supposed to be at first, but I'm like, then someone had to spell it out to me. Oh, this is supposed to be Bray Wyatt. I'm like, really?
I will say I am very intrigued on what they're going to do with this. You know what it reminded me of? Pulling an obscure reference out of my ass. It reminded me of this one alien in the movie Evolution. How well do you remember that movie?
Moderately so.
Do you remember the sad-faced dog thing that was in that one woman's house? And when one of her friends was trying to pet it, a beak monster just shot out of his neck.
Okay.
Kind of like a diversion. That's what the buzzard puppet thing, kind of with the Hawaiian shirt, kind of reminded me. You know what? Here, I'm gonna pull a picture of it because I actually have it saved just for you. That's what it reminded me of.
Okay, I can see that.
I'll probably post a picture of it later on my Twitter, just so the audience can show this. I don't know if you can really see it very well. That's what it reminded me of.
All you purveyors of relatively obscure David Duchovny movies.
But yeah, that's what it reminded me of, and I'm just very intrigued on what they're gonna do with that.
I just want to see Bray Wyatt back in action. I don't know what is going on with this, but
I hope
color me more overly curious.
I want this to be his thing. I don't want it to be a Vince McMahon idea. I want this to be all him. And
Give him a puppet, damn it.
I want him to just I have this crazy idea. You guys couldn't think of anything creative for me when my return? I got an idea, and it's going to have people talking. And it really does have people talking. But back to the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. It was just an angle for continuing Braun Strowman's downward spiral to obscure WrestleMania moments.
Yeah, this one...
First having a tag team championship with a 10-year-old and now fighting a couple SNL guys.
Normally, I have to admit, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal usually has some appeal for me, but going in, this is probably the least interest I've ever had for a Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal I've ever had.
Because you knew the second Braun said he's in it, you know he's winning. At least that's how the second he announced it, I'm like, yep, that's my prediction.
It seemed dull. It seemed predictable. It didn't really deliver the same way that other matches of its kind have in the past. It just didn't do it for me. So by the time it was over, I was like, okay, we got it out of the way. Let's move on to the main card already.
And it was at this point I knew my voice was mostly gone. And you can even hear it now.
Even then?
Oh,
that early into the show?
Yes. Trust me, man, I was losing my goddamn mind. Even during the pre-shows, I was losing my mind. Not so much with Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese because I knew it was going to happen. I just watched the show. It was at the very beginning. I just sat down. I was at my seat. I took pictures before the show started. I was just watching it. I was just watching. This is good wrestling. So the match ended. I applaud both guys because it was a very good show. And then Carmella won, and that kind of killed my mood, but it was Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins where I was actually into this match, the most when it comes to the pre-show matches. And the second Kurt Hawkins made that pin, I was going, yeah, that's good job. I cannot believe I'm cheering for Zack Ryder. Yeah.
I couldn't remember it either. Wow.
And then Braun Strowman, and then I showed you the video of on my phone of Braun Strowman's entrance, and I'm yelling, Braun! And by the end, I'm just like, oh my god, my throat is killing me.
What did I do?
My throat is killing me. I'm not going to last so far at this point.
But anyway, we're moving on to the main card. Opening segment with Alexa Bliss and Hulk Hogan. Great trolling, and then just walking right past is Paul Heyman.
From what I've read, Hulk Hogan did not know Paul Heyman was going to walk past him. The second he saw him, and he just had that look in his face, that was a genuine look of like, what is this? What is going on here?
And you know what? That contributed very well to the vibe that they were putting out. And got my attention very, very quickly.
And I will say, I know the whole controversy behind him, but it really is great to see Hulk Hogan in person, hearing Real American on the stage, coming from the stage, and I'm yelling, Mr. Nanny.
Because of course you did.
Because of course I did. I'm still going to try and get Hulk Hogan to sign my copy of Mr. Nanny DVD. Yes,
You'll probably have to pay like $500 for his autograph these days.
Probably.
Brother.
Probably, but you know what?
Gotta work the marks, brother.
It's Mr. Nanny. I grew up on that movie.
If you actually pull that off, then if you're gonna pay $500 or something ridiculous for a Hulk Hogan autograph, it might as well be something like that.
Yeah, forget my world heavyweight title. It's just my DVD of Mr. Nanny. He'll just look at this and be like, really, brother? Yes, I am.
I love your sense of humor, brother.
I'm like, Sir, I grew up on this movie. Yes, I want you to sign this. I can't have you sign my copy of Suburban Commando. It kind of got ruined when my old apartment got flooded.
Oh. But even so, I think Mr. Nanny would be much funnier. Hey, brother, gotta sign my DVD, brother.
Mr. Sean Armstrong, can you please sign my DVD?
Oh, brother. We're not even a third of the way through the pay-per-view yet. But yes, Seth Rollins defeated Brock Lesnar, what I honestly thought was a really well-paced match. I actually dug this promo more than I probably should.
Oh, once Paul Heyman came out and said we're just gonna have this match now, I was just like, holy shit, they are really doing this? I am in genuine shock. I'm surprised because I read the big rumor that it was going to be Orton and AJ Styles that would open the show. Mm-hmm. Must have been a last minute change. Yeah, and I will say, it definitely got people in the right frame of mind for this show. And it was a great start for this.
Yeah, and even if it was a last minute change, and it's one that caught a lot of us off guard, it's one of those decisions that, in retrospect, it makes a lot of sense, and it was absolutely a good decision. Again, it was the first one on the main card. It got everyone hype. It was just long enough, just as long as it needed to be. It got the right result, and Brock Lesnar was able to get home at a decent hour. Unlike the rest of the audience in attendance.
But I will say, the second after Seth Rollins hit that first curb stomp, I immediately yelled, "One more time! One more time!" How clear were you able to hear that?
I believe that there were some decent chants going on, and I think that did come across on the cameras.
Yes, I heard, got a "one more time" chant started because it happened. I called it the second he hit his first curb stomp, and I'm just going, "One more time, one more time." Oh, I hope that got on camera, because it was a pretty loud chant on my end. And then I tried to get a third one after he hit I tried to hit a second one more time for his third one, but no one really picked up on that one.
Yeah, but even so, I remember hearing that. I remember hearing the chant.
And then, of course, Seth Rollins got the pin. Once again, lost my mind, screaming like a kid. Oh, it was definitely a great good feel moment.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Again, AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. This one, I dug it. It was exactly what I expected it to be. I was personally moving around, just doing some cooking for the people in attendance.
You were being a host.
Being a host. But even so, this match still delivered. It was, again, well-paced. It's exactly what you figured an AJ Styles versus Randy Orton match would go. And, yeah, entertaining from start to finish. It delivered.
The one thing that took me out of this match was were the fans. Because there was that whole controversy with the lights. Obscuring their view, and seeing pictures of it from a friend of mine.
Did that affect you at all?
Not at all. I was at an angle where the light wasn't hitting me.
Yeah, I'm not
but
sure
I saw pictures, and I definitely saw what they were doing. And there was one point where they did turn off the lights.
And everyone cheered.
Everyone cheered.
Like, I think Randy Orton on TV, it just looked like Randy Orton threw a single punch, and then the entire crowd erupted in cheers. I'm like, okay, I guess I did something with the lights then.
But funny enough, WWE decided to troll them for a split second, and they turned the light back on for basically 2 seconds, and then turned it back off.
We heard it. We heard it.
You just hear
that was loud and clear on TV.
They turned it on. You hear the quick boo, and they turned it right back off. I think they were trying to manipulate the audience in here, because Randy Orton immediately after was trying to do heel poses. I think that's what they were trying to go for, to get boos, to manipulate the audience to boo for Randy Orton.
I can sort of see them doing that, but
that was the only time they ever did that.
Yeah, but the timing was still way off. There were cheers and boos in places where they didn't belong. Because remember, we at home the camera is just focusing on all the stuff that's happening in the ring.
But did you hear like the people chanting, "We can't see"? Can't see.
There were still some. It was kind of hard to tell what the chants were at first, but eventually word got through the grapevine in the Twitter universe, and when the yays and the boos weren't quite matching up to what was going on in the ring, we were all able to figure it out fairly quickly.
They were still able to watch the match on the screens, but of course they wanted to see it happening in person. So of course they were getting upset about it. But then then they turned off the lights, and they were only on mainly for entrances, and they kept those lights off during the rest of the show, which was a good call on their end.
Good. I'm glad they were able to roll with the punches at the very least.
But back to the match. Like, I was trying my best to watch it, and I guess I kind of overhyped this one because I just loved the build for it. I was expecting them to really go more all out. This definitely seemed more like a SmackDown Live main event, not really a WrestleMania match that I thought that they were going to have. And I was just thinking, okay, they're probably going to pull a Shinsuke AJ and just have this feud continue on, and then the matches will get better. But the reports then came in that Styles may have hurt himself at WrestleMania. That's why he wasn't on SmackDown or on Raw afterward. So, and they just look like they now are starting with Randy Orton and Mustafa Ali, with him RKOing him out of nowhere, and possibly starting a Kevin Owens-Rusev feud, which...
For some reason.
Because, okay, I'm actually not against that. But, all in all, it was a good match. I guess I put too much hype on it, but it's still satisfied. It was a good one.
Next match we had for the SmackDown Tag Titles, we had the Usos defeat The Bar, Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev, and Aleister Black and Ricochet. I was a little surprised by the finish, but all right.
I wasn't. I called this one, and for me, this was the match that I focused the most on because, like I said, if the Usos won, I pretty much guaranteed I was keeping the belts after this one. Because
lucky you.
And of course, the highlight of that match was Cesaro doing that incredibly long.
That was awesome.
What is it called?
Giant swing.
Giant swing, and Sheamus was just taking everyone out with his
with those chest
punches.
Yes,
it has a name.
I know it does.
I'm terrible with names, but that was the highlight of this match, and seeing the Usos being able to do that double splash, getting the 1, 2, 3, I basically once again this was a different losing my mind. And I was just going, I'm still the champion! And I'm just looking at everyone, I'm the champ! I'm the champ! I took this thing to WrestleMania, and I successfully defended it! Yes! I'm the champ! Still the champ! Yes! And everyone's just smiling. My two friends from Ireland were just smiling. They were applauding me. Oh, I felt great. And then of course I sent you the text and still champion. And that was my revenge on your Carmella trolling.
Yeah, the Carmella troll will still be my WrestleMania moment. I don't care. And
and knowing that this will still be on my shoulder once WrestleMania ended was my WrestleMania moment.
Yeah. But
because there was only one match that we differed, and if you got it, we would have just ended up at least tying.
Yeah, it was, even then,
and then
it wouldn't be enough to.
It's still I still have Goldie on my shoulder still, and it felt good.
Well, you know what didn't feel good though? Shane McMahon defeating The Miz in this Falls Count Anywhere match. Now
this wasn't a match. It was an angle.
Yeah, all joking aside, all results aside, this was the moment where I really started to check myself out. This was my bathroom break.
This wasn't for me. I actually had everyone, even the audience, everyone had fun with this one because we weren't. That's the thing. You can't take this seriously because, like I said, it was an angle. Shane McMahon's punches are terrible. The Miz Dad segment, we were crying with laughter with him getting in. First, he tried to protect Miz from Shane doing the diving elbow through the announcer's table. He comes in the ring and just does that punch pose. Everyone is laughing. We are having a great time. And it just at one point, I lost sight of them because, once again, pillars were in the way. So I had to watch it on the screen. But we were just having fun with this one because I kept saying this whole thing was stupid fun. This is stupid fun. I don't even care who won. And then they pulled that segment that spot where they were on the scaffolding, that big superplex, and everyone was just yelling, "Oh, holy shit! Holy shit!" And just the fact that Shane McMahon got the pin, not because he rested his arm. It's just the simple fact that he landed. How he landed, his arm just happened to be over the Miz and got the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
The accidental win. And I'm like, you know what? I may have not gotten a point from this one, but I like the result because it didn't hurt anyone. Like, in the long run.
Yeah.
Like, they both took each other out, and it was just a accident that Shane just so happened to have his arm, like, when they landed, his arm was just happened to be on top of the Miz to get the 3 count.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that. This is one of those things where if you saw it live, it was probably awesome. But
Or like I said, stupid fun.
Yeah, stupid fun, or at least way more enjoyable. When watching it, between watching it on TV and the point in the card that we got this match, I gotta say this one was very, very underwhelming for me.
I'm not surprised.
And the ending didn't really help much either. This was supposed to be catharsis for the Miz and his family, and it just didn't deliver in my eyes. It was just, This was one of my bathroom breaks. It really was. But anyway, next match on the card. This one was, you want to talk about unexpectedly, surprisingly enjoyable. Women's Tag Team Championships. We've got new Women's Tag Champs in the Iconics.
This was bathroom break number 1. I'm not joking. Once the bell rang and the match started, people got right up and went straight to the bathroom.
I saw photos. People were just like leaving en masse.
They were in lines, bailing from this one, and it was an okay match. I was just watching it. I'm just going okay. It wasn't a perfect match. There were some sloppy moments, but once the Iconics got that pin, that was another moment I was in genuine shock. I literally was just like, and my friends sitting next to me, they were big Iconic fans. They were losing their minds, and I felt like the one guy who, when Brock Lesnar pinned Undertaker, this was my reaction. I was just going like, I was just like, oh my god, this is what are you serious? And then I watched their segment on SmackDown, and now I'm actually more into it because from what I've been reading, this is them being more like their characters from NXT, which got them popular in the first place. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't follow the Iconics when they were NXT, and they were from what I read, they were very popular, and they're starting to transition into their NXT characters from this segment. And from how people are explaining it, it's Edge and Christian. They can see it as Edge and Christian light.
I can sort of see that,
and I can see
a good dose of that.
I can sort of see that too, especially with their iconic pose, and it's like their benefit with those flash photography.
And now they're doing a little dance with their music.
And how they were building these Brooklyn Bells as the 45-0 undefeated. It was like, you know what? I'm actually warming up to this act. I hope they actually keep building onto this to really do be the female equivalent of what Edge and Christian were, and to the point where I would actually genuinely be fans of them.
Yeah, I was really shocked by this. I never really thought in a million years they were going to go in this direction. At least not right away, but now that they did, this is another one of those matches where I didn't know this could be good, but now that they're doing it, I legit dig it.
Mm-hmm.
And now, even a lot of people who were in our viewing party just were sort of randomly spouting out, "Iconic!" It was, again, it turned what should have been a really obnoxious gimmick, and over time, they did that slow burn, and now it's just like silly, cartoony fun, and I dig it.
The Iconics are definitely, I kept saying this then, they're cartoon characters.
The Iconics is cartoons.
Yeah, I'm starting to join the Iconics bandwagon if they keep their current characters up. Although they might lose the tag titles next week of what Paige is going to do.
I hope not. I really hope not.
Whoever she brings them up. Whoever she brings to the card. At least we get Paige back on TV.
That's not a bad thing.
I missed her. I really did. I missed Paige a lot.
But now we got, I'm just going to say it, this next match of the night for me by a country mile.
Absolutely. And
you know what we're talking about. Kofi Kingston is the new WWE champion.
This was the highest point of the show. This was
agreed.
I wouldn't even see this was beyond borderline. This match was perfect. All around. Great wrestling, great storytelling from both Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston, Rowan, Xavier, Big E, Mike, everyone here. Everyone who worked in this match did everything. They were and going with their story, they were A++. Everything about this was just so amazing. And just that ending with them, with Kofi bringing his kids to the ring and showing their new shirts, that was a WrestleMania moment.
And Xavier Woods legit crying, like shedding real tears.
This was the most feel good. I was borderline tears. I was just going, this is beautiful. This was just great, and nothing on the rest of the card is going to top this.
Yeah.
And nothing on the card beforehand is going to top this.
Between the pacing, the position this was on the card, and like you said, everything was flawless. The match itself, the storyline building up to it, the ending of the match, and then what happened after the match. Everything flowed as it should. Everything just lined up perfectly.
And the
crowd was not dead yet. We already had the pee break. We had already had that down moment of a little bit of recovery. More than enough to enjoy the hell out of this match.
The crowd,
and get the reaction you wanted. This was perfect.
The crowd was electric. The second Kofi got that pin, if MetLife had a roof, we all would have just blown it up. My God, this was the most genuine, loudest point for the crowd, and it was just the most phenomenal experience.
See, as much as I do not envy what you need to do to get out of that arena that night, this match alone probably made me envious that you were in that arena that night.
Oh.
It must have been fantastic and totally worth it.
It really was. It was real. That match alone made the entire experience. It was a great show all around being there. But
Undisputed highlight
was that.
Absolutely. Totally agree.
And like I said, the current WWE champion once held the Scholars of Wrestling Championship.
Be jealous, universe.
Oh, that's a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. Yes, it is.
But at least my wife made pancakes that night, so
I saw the pictures. I liked it. That was the only thing I wish I was there to enjoy New Day pancakes.
Hey, there's always SummerSlam.
There is always SummerSlam.
Yes. But in the meantime, we got Samoa Joe going one-on-one with Rey Mysterio, a once-in-a-lifetime dream match, and it's done.
It's understandable why it's done.
Yeah.
Because Rey was still hurt.
Yeah, we know, but this was like comically fast.
What I liked about it is that it worked for Samoa Joe.
Yeah, they made him look like $1 million. They made him look like an absolute
Like
monster.
one mistake and Coquina Clutch,
dead.
you're out. And now we have a potential Samoa Joe versus Braun Strowman feud. I did not know that I wanted this until I saw it happen.
I just honestly, even though he's not in like the direct limelight, I love what they're doing with Samoa Joe, where he still looks like a threat no matter where he is, but he's just slightly in the periphery where, for me, I almost forget that he's actually in the company until he just comes out of nowhere. It's like, oh snap, and Joe's here. Everybody run.
Of course, I had to go in there, like, when he was coming out, I'm just going, Joe, 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 Joe.
Good for you.
Joe. I know some of our friends don't like it, but I love his theme song.
I dig it. And honestly, if I had to pick one guy who was like my favorite wrestler in the WWE right now, honestly, I would have a hard time picking anyone other than Samoa Joe. Because every time I see him and he shows up, he always delivers. He's always fun to watch. If he's anywhere on the card that he doesn't want to be, it's not his fault. He performs to the best of his ability. He's like that.
And he makes gold every time.
Yeah, he's like Kevin Owens. He's in like Kevin Owens tier where he can take whatever you throw at him and he will turn it into something good and fun. And they
make it so he is still scary in the ring. Cause they basically are turning him into something like a cerebral assassin. You make one mistake and you're done. Like, he's a guy who waits for that one moment to strike. And his brawling with Braun Strowman, like, he barely got the Coquina Clutch in, but of course Braun broke out of it, and Braun couldn't really fully lift him up to do his Braun Slam, which people even pointed out the hilarity in the fact that he can tip over an ambulance or a truck, but he can't lift Samoa Joe up.
You can't lift a Samoan.
Yeah, apparently not. But I laughed. I had a good chuckle out of that one, but I'm just like, yep.
Honestly, I would not be surprised if he ends up being a good opponent for a feud with Kofi Kingston for the title.
Oh, absolutely. If he stays on if they're on the same show after the shakeup.
I think he would make a fantastic foil for a face Kofi at this point. Maybe give him a few minutes. You know what? There's your match for SummerSlam. Kofi Kingston versus Samoa Joe, WWE title.
Let's hope that happens, because I'm all for that.
That's my number one pick. Make it happen, WWE.
And give him the belt. I want Joe to be champion so bad.
So do I. Do I. He would make him fantastic. Going to touch a Peter Griffin there.
Joe.
Oh, you want some Joe? Well, here, you got some Joe. You got Roman Reigns defeating Drew McIntyre. Nice entrance for Drew McIntyre, must admit.
Oh, it was very nice. It was very nice to see his entrance. Seeing the bagpipes come. It was definitely a feel good. It's like, but it was also the thing of, oh, he gets the special entrance. Yeah, he's not winning. Yeah. Even though we knew that already, it was like, it's the same thing with Ronda Rousey when we get to it, but. When it came to the match itself, I will say I'm a little disappointed with some of the people there who were basically still booing Roman Reigns, still thinking, you can't wrestle, you suck, you're Vince McMahon's bitch, and all that. I'm just like, okay. The whole you can't wrestle, I think he's proven more than enough that, yes, he can wrestle. He's put on 5-star matches. I still don't, like, it's... That was my phone. I apologize. But I'm kind of like moved past the point because there's similar with John Cena. There's nothing we can do. He's still WWE's golden boy, and they're slowly making his storyline that he just came back from fighting cancer. He has to basically fight his way to get back on top. You know what? Let him be. I won't, like, I'll still be like, okay, you still do good. I want to see your heel turn just because I know you are capable of being a good heel, not just for the sake of, oh, he's done. He's a He's not the whole John Cena heel turn yelling. But when it came to the match itself, it was kind of generic.
Yeah, it's what I expected it to be.
It was kind of, I wouldn't even say like 50-50 booking, because I feel like both guys didn't. It was not a WrestleMania match. This was, I wouldn't even say main event Raw. It was just a Raw match. Like,
I can see.
I would say top of the second hour. It didn't feel like, I said it earlier, or not earlier. I said it months ago when there was the whole rumor that it was going to be Baron Corbin versus Roman, and I said I wanted Drew versus Roman because I know they could put on a WrestleMania caliber match. I'm very disappointed. That's the one thing because I knew both men are capable of doing so much, but I felt like they just weren't given that point. They weren't given that much to work with.
Yeah, it was just what I expected it to be, and my expectations were fairly low compared to a lot of the other matches on this card. It is what I expected it to be. This was another bathroom break for me. I'm glad Roman won. We all would kind of figured he would. But at the same time, I really didn't have much emotionally invested into this match. It just, it's there. Now, this next match, I admit, I had a very similar feeling going in. But this match delivered in sheer creativity and brutality.
It was
Triple H defeating Batista.
It was another one of those.
Interference from Ric Flair.
It was another one of those, like, this was more storytelling than actual match because both guys are in their 50s. So really, what can these guys really do? I mean, Triple H, he just had his pec torn, so he's there. What can these guys really do? And it was just
quite a bit, actually.
It was just more of the story aspect of, like, the whole, like you said, brutality. I mean, Triple H going on over Batista and ripping off his nose ring, which was that face that Batista made. That was a Drax the Destroyer type face.
Wow.
And I won't even. Yes, he tripped getting into the ring,
which I looked away for a second and I didn't really see.
This is the first time the man's gotten back in the ring in, like, what? Or since SmackDown, what was it, 1000 or 25th anniversary or whatever? Yeah, the SmackDown episode. He's a part-timer. This is his final match since he officially retired from wrestling. I'm not mad at him. I'm still a Batista fan. I saw him come in when I was waiting in the parking lot. I saw him walk in his nice blue suit. I was kind of hoping he would bring back the blue trunks for this one, but
nah.
I was really hoping for that.
I think that sort of killed his vibe, but
this was, like I said, this was definitely more of a storytelling match. The big highlight, at least for the crowd, was them trying their damnedest to put each other through the announce table, and that those tables were not breaking. Yeah. And I'm just yelling, "I have the table!"
I felt like they just had so many table spots this entire show. Like, I don't think I've seen that many table spots ever in a single show.
Well, in this match in particular, they tried like 5 times to go through a table, and they finally took the what was it, the German table?
I couldn't even tell.
It took they did in the middle one, which was the main table. They then to the Spanish table. That table refused to break too. And it was the third one on the other end that finally broke. It was like, holy shit, it finally broke! Yeah!
Oh, boy.
That was the story for the fans. What? Because they were just going,
when will they break the table?
They were just going, we want table. And then Ric Flair showing up at the end. I didn't even think about Ric Flair showing up, and it's kind of like a good bookend.
Either.
It was a good bookend to this story.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually saw Ric Flair and Shane McMahon leave the event. Poor guy. I'm like, he moves so much out there when he's just walking to his car. He's looking like he's hurting.
Who is this now?
Flair.
Well, yeah. I'm sure at some point when you're in an audience like that, your adrenaline starts going. But yeah, you're also talking about a 70-year-old man.
Yeah. And everyone's cheering for him. They're going, woo, we love you, and he's just like, get me the hell out of here, man. I'm done. It's almost 1 a.m.
It's past my bedtime.
It's way past my bedtime. You took that right out of my mouth. It's way past my bedtime. I want to go home.
Space Mountain is closed for the season.
I'm gonna grab myself a juice, snuggle with my blankie, and go nap. Woo! Woo! With my sexy wife. Woo! Woo!
The match went off the rails, and so did we.
But all in all, like, it wasn't terrible. It was another one. It wasn't stupid fun, but it was just fun. It was a fun story because you could tell both guys, even like maybe a few minutes in, both guys were winded. And they were trying their damnedest to put on a good show, and that's what I respected on both of them because I know they're both great workers.
Yeah, and
so
to see that Batista officially retired and announced that after the fact, it made sense. Like, if this was about as good once as he ever was, kind of match from Batista, where he knew he wanted to go out on his terms and he got it. So this was satisfying. I can definitely see this being the type of thing that Triple H would do for a friend, and that friend would want to just do before you totally hung it up.
Well,
great way to end a career.
Well, even Batista said this is how he wanted his wrestling career to end. He wanted Triple H to end his career.
And you know what?
He got it. And I think this whole storyline between them is all him and Triple H's story.
So
let it happen. It was good.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good fun.
Yep, worked for me. This next one was a little bit unexpected, where Baron Corbin defeated Kurt Angle in his last ever match.
The thing was, like I said in the prediction show, I couldn't for the life of me choose Baron Corbin. I knew he was going to win. Because that's just That's just wrestling. All wrestlers leave on their back. That's just how it is in the wrestling business. And I was hoping this was the one exception. I'm just like, I knew Baron was going to win, but I couldn't choose him. It was the one point I was willing to sacrifice, just because I just couldn't choose him because I just didn't want him to win. And this was bathroom break number 2, and this was,
I can see that.
This was the fact that Kurt Angle's final match is a bathroom break match. It's because no one wanted Baron Corbin to be his final opponent. And in the end, I still stand. It's not going to do anything for Baron Corbin.
I'm not convinced yet. I want to keep an open mind, but I just don't see how it can lead up to that.
I think it's not going to do anything for it, and I think Monday solidified that.
Yeah.
With Kurt Angle completely taking him out and putting him in the ankle lock and making him tap out like a bitch.
And then the first thing I can think was, why didn't we get that at WrestleMania?
Because this match. This was the lowest part of the show for me. It was not a good match because Baron Corbin can't wrestle his way out of a paper bag. It killed the crowd. The crowd you can hear a pin drop. The crowd were that silent.
It was noticeable. Like I looked away, I went into the kitchen to go get something, and by the time I came back, deep 6 or whatever, 1, 2, 3, over. Like, really? Deep 6, end of days, end of my deep 6, whatever.
They were showing reaction crowd. I'm like, these. Of course, there were people who are upset that Kurt lost, but it's just no one cared. And then Kurt Angle saved it by giving his farewell speech at the end. But it wasn't when it came to the match, no one wanted it. It was disappointing all around. But Kurt Angle managed to save it with his farewell.
Yeah, and it was a good speech. But again, I was still expecting John Cena to come out and
he did come out. He did come out later.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was after this.
Yeah, I was like, okay,
but
there you go.
I will say, the Elias segment,
Not bad. Not bad.
I actually enjoyed it. And after what happened on WrestleMania and Raw, Elias gained himself to get back on my good graces. Not on the wrestling not on the wrestling aspect, but just as his character. Because you basically get the Dr. Thugonomics John Cena back, which everyone there was happy to see. Mm-hmm. And his rap promo was actually really fun.
I can see that too.
I love that even one of the people in front of me was just going, Elias likes to play with himself. And of course Cena said it, and everyone just turned to that guy, and he was just like, called it. And then it goes, you're not going to get an AA, but you're going to get an FU. I was like, yeah, you know what? I liked this. And what Elias did with him playing in the drums and the piano and him in the guitar, I liked it. And of course he gets taken out by Taker on Raw. But yeah, that put Elias back on my good grace, and it seems like they're setting up an Elias versus Undertaker at the next Saudi Arabia show.
That will be very interesting.
Even though it's not the next pay-per-view. At least that's how it was originally supposed to be. But now we get Money in the Bank.
Okay,
the beef case is coming back a lot sooner.
I want that, and I want that beef case, damn it. You heard me.
Oh, I know. I'm glad you said it.
Yes, I did. But anyway, now we're leading up to the penultimate match. The Demon Finn Balor, in full regalia, defeats Bobby Lashley to become the new Intercontinental Champion.
Bobby Lashley had some contacts in?
Yes.
I actually didn't notice this. I wasn't paying attention to Bobby Lashley.
It was a very quick shot. There was a good shot of his face right as Finn Balor was coming out, where it looked kind of funky. It almost looked like kind of alien. Mm-hmm. Almost. I can see why it would be difficult to tell when you're there live, where you would really need to like zoom in on it. But it almost seemed like, okay, Bobby Lashley is bringing in something a little bit extra to attempt to counter Finn Balor's something extra.
After
it was a story without words.
Yeah, and seeing it afterwards. Well, I didn't watch the show, but I saw that in reviews of the show. That's what he did. And I was like, you know what? I may not have noticed it, but I respect that. I respect him actually using the storyline, like to change his look to fit the storyline. I appreciate it.
Yeah, all things considered, it was a very solid choice, but it was good.
And of course, seeing Finn Balor's entrance live was just amazing.
Absolutely.
That was worth it alone. That was worth my phone dying at the show. That's why I was planning on doing a post WrestleMania video, but my phone was dead, and that sucked.
Yeah.
Demon Finn Balor killed my phone.
And even so, this match also was not the longest in the world, but it didn't have to be. I'm actually very glad that it wasn't, because it was around this time when people started getting really, really tired. A lot of my house guests had to leave because they were just getting so tired and they had to get up for work in the morning. And it was, even so, it's like, yeah, it's the result we expected. It's a result that we wanted. And at that point, we're just looking forward to, okay, only one more match left. Let's just get to it.
And then it comes out Alexa Bliss saying the 82,000 people and that extremely long dance break that no one there wanted. Including myself.
Yeah, because I didn't want to wow, this is painful. And then they cut to commercial, at least on our side. So it was like, okay.
No one wanted to see, I didn't want to see Carmella again. It just left a sour taste in my mouth before, and I was just clear from it. And, of course, that bitch brought it back. I'm sorry. I don't like Carmella. I don't.
But anyway, finally, at long last, we've got the women's main event. Joan Jett plays out Ronda, which I thought was pretty damn awesome.
That was actually fun seeing that live.
Yes. Charlotte coming in with the whole chopper thing happening.
Mirroring her daddy's entrance all those years ago. Mm-hmm. It was a nice callback. I'm like, oh, that's cute.
And Becky Lynch with the good hair.
All of us dumb, like tired dummies at the arena, like they have the clip of her flying over. We're all looking up, saying, "Do we see the cop? Do we see the chopper? Do we see the chopper?" We're dumbasses for actually trying to look at the.
This was a pre-tape.
This was a pre-tape. Where the hell is the chopper? Where's the chopper?
We want to get to the chopper.
We want the chopper. We want to look at the chopper. We're dumb. We're tired. Let's just get this match over.
Yeah, I admit I had this one. I had to go back and rewatch the next day. This one match was good, but at the time, not only could I not really enjoy it, but when I was watching it, the ending was a very obvious botch. It was just came so completely out of nowhere, and it was such an anticlimax. I'm like, if it was deliberate, it could have been paced much better. But when it ended and the count was called as it was just.
It was definitely
really
an anticlimactic ending.
Yes.
And the one thing that I've been reading is that this actually was the ending. It's just the fact that Ronda. There was just one point where she got she had her shoulder up.
Yes.
And it was just that accidental botch.
Yeah,
but
it really didn't sit well with me.
It didn't sit well with anyone there.
It was so abrupt that
it was so abrupt. Everyone was just like
way too wrong.
It definitely felt rushed. It definitely felt it was definitely out of nowhere, and it just was very anticlimactic. And the second the bell rang that it was over, people were bailing. People were just.
You guys must have been exhausted in the arena.
Oh, yeah.
I was already asleep by then.
Trust me, I was tired too, but I was just watching the entire show. I was just sitting there. I'm like, all right, I'm tired, but I'm still enjoying this. Let's go. And then the match ended, and I'm just like, oh, that was kind of a weak ending. Even my friends from Ireland, they told me they were there to see Becky Lynch win, and they were happy that she won, but they even felt like, yeah, that was a very anticlimactic ending.
Yeah,
but they were still happy to see her with the belts,
as I think we all were. Yeah,
and of course I stayed there I stayed in the arena for another half an hour, just watching them take the set apart, take the ring apart, and of course I'm looking around. I found a souvenir cup and I just took it.
Oh, good.
So I'm like, I'm not spending $12 for a souvenir cup. So I just found one under a seat and I just grabbed it, poured the Pepsi that was in it out. I was like, all right. I went to the bathroom and rinsed it. I'm like, I'm taking this shit home with me.
All right, free souvenir.
Free souvenir cup, especially when I was watching and I just seeing people with stack of 5 souvenir cups, just looking around trying to collect as many as possible. And I'm like, I just look down and I just see one under the seat. I look up, the guy's still looking. I will take this, thank you. And outside the arena, people are trying to sell their WrestleMania folding chairs. Those ones with the cushions.
Man, I always wanted one of those. Just hang on to it forever.
Yeah, so would I. It's like I went to a show where it was front row seats, but of course because it was a house show, they just didn't have those folding chairs, so it doesn't count.
Boo.
But all in all, it was when it came to the match, it was underwhelming.
Yeah, it just didn't stick the landing, and even if it did, the match went on way too late into the night. I was personally exhausted. I needed a break just to recover and so I could enjoy it. But even when I was physically engaged, the finish just came out of nowhere, and it was just obvious botch. It was But at the end of the day, at least Becky Lynch's hair looked really nice.
Okay. That's very random. That
was my first, okay, Ronda's got a cool entrance. Charlotte's got a cool entrance.
Becky just has an entrance.
Becky's got really cool hair. That's the most I can say. But, yeah. It's,
Becky 2 belts.
But again, it's the result we wanted. It's this whole thing can finally move on to a much more deserving opponent. We got that catharsis. All is well. Let's move on to the next feud. And that, at long last, is WrestleMania 35.
So facial hair ratings, what would you give it?
I gotta say, I would on matches and content alone, I would have to give this a full beard. 4 out of 5. This was a very good, jam-packed with fun and entertaining matches from top to bottom. Some low points, but honestly, that's what I would give it in terms of content alone. But in terms of presentation, I am going to have to give this a classic goatee, 3 out of 5. For one major reason, between the botch in the main event and the show was just way too damn long. I don't care if it is WrestleMania, I don't care if it's the biggest and best show of the year. You physically cannot have a match. You cannot have a wrestling show this long and not be like slogging through the end. It's way too much. It's way too noticeable, and as good and cathartic as the Kofi match and ending was, it does not excuse a 7-hour show. It's too much. Plain and simple. How about you? What would you give it?
When it comes to the show itself, I'm just going to take the length of it out because I said it before. Yes, it was very tiring. It was a 7-hour show. Yeah, it was basically the show ends at 12:30 at night when the show started at 5. But yes, I'm just going to take that out because I knew what I was getting into when I was going there. So when it came to the event itself, I'm going to give it a full beard because in most cases, the right people won. It gave us plenty of happy endings to the story. It gave us great WrestleMania moments, hence Kofi Kingston. But when it came to actually the experience of being there, it's obvious it's a goat face.
Mm-hmm.
The experience of just being there alone, it was so much. I had so much fun. It's once again, I'm now every time WrestleMania comes to MetLife, I'm going to try my damnedest to get a ticket to go there. It was so much fun. I met great people. I spread the good word of Scholars, and again, knowing that I was walking out of WrestleMania with this still on my shoulder and not just holding it, giving it to either you or Brian in the near future.
Yet.
For WrestleMania, man. I know, it's like I said before, I know this, I'm not holding on to this thing forever. But until then, I'm still cherishing it. And when it came for WrestleMania, I was very glad to be able to go there, successfully defend it, walk out of MetLife, still your Scholars of Wrestling champion. Too bad I looked my hardest to try and find Simon Miller from What Culture because he was there. He did a video at MetLife once the show ended. I tried looking for him. I couldn't find him. I guess he showed up. He left after to the point because I spent most of my time trying to watch wrestlers leave. I saw Natalya and Tyson Kidd. I saw Shane and Ric Flair leaving. I saw two of the guys. I'm terrible with names. The guys from Impractical Jokers.
I'm surprised that they were there.
They were at all the shows.
Surprising.
They were at Raw. They were at SmackDown. I believe they were at TakeOver. They were at Mania. But yeah, it was all in all. It was a great show, great experience. It's one I'm gonna remember forever. The only nitpick I had was that I really wish I saw the Statue of Liberty set. What they had at WrestleMania 29, but that's just nitpicking. But just the giant screen was okay. It was a good. I liked this WrestleMania logo. I don't like the WrestleMania 36 logo of the pirate theme.
You know what? It's not enough of a dissuasion for me or my wife. We're already talking about, okay, maybe we'll see if this is doable next year.
Go to Tampa next year?
Hey, we don't care. She's been before. Exactly. How bad could it be?
Yeah, exactly. But it's just, I'm not a huge fan of the logo. But
I can see that.
But yeah,
it's very different.
Like I said, when it comes to the show itself, there are great highs, but there were also a couple of lows. So I'm gonna give it a full beard.
All right, I dig it. Rationale makes sense. Glad you had an awesome time. It looks, again, I just don't envy that whole process of just getting out of there and getting back home.
Oh, I got home at 2:30, 2:45 at night.
Yeesh.
But I knew, like, I sat there and waited for the people to leave, and then the last part, it was just, of course, because I usually get home on Route 17, I had to stop and get White Castle.
Hey, if you come this far for the adventure, you might as well go all the way, right?
I was passing it, so I might as well get a few burgers and a nice fry with it. So, yeah.
Okay.
And there were people who were at WrestleMania there enjoying some White Castle burgers as well, so
Good
I
on
wasn't
you,
the only
boys.
one. It was worth it. It was all worth it. I can't wait to do it again.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? The adventure is going to continue in September. Hopefully we can get our hands on some MSG tickets for Raw. So, yeah. The adventure continues. Join us and see where we go next. But until then, we're turning it back over to you, our wrestling and viewing, our listening and viewing wrestling audience. You know, because you know that's how words work.
Sure.
Yes, indeed. So, of course, you know where you can find us. Find us on YouTube. You know what to do there. Check us out on Facebook. Run a search for the Scholars Wrestling Show. Again, you know what to do there too. And of course, if you want to open the floodgates to conversation and live tweeting and all that good stuff, check us out on Twitter, starting with @ScholarsOW, our official page for all the latest episode uploads. And of course, you can also talk to us on our main Twitter personal accounts. I'm getting tired. It's been a long day. Fool, where can they reach you?
You can reach me at the Avataric.
And you can reach Scholar Brian at Atomic Beanpole. And you can also reach me at I'm Robbie Rage. Join the conversation. See where we're going next. But until then,
we're doing the Superstar Shakeup next.
Superstar Shakeup, absolutely.
I am looking forward.
We got
to
a big week ahead of us again.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's all for us. Because you know who we are. We are the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome. See you next time for the Superstar Shakeup.